throw balls far. You want good words? Data languager.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Rother Brothers Monday morning out there, Western Oklahoma. Welcome to the Skinny on Sports, right here on 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Glad to have you along for the next hour. We got all kinds of things to talk about from over the weekend. A little golf as the PGA Tour playoffs have reached the final destination coming up this week at East Lake in Atlanta. The top 30 will be there for the Tour Championship. Wyndham Clark almost blew a huge lead and then ends up winning easily by the time it was all said and done over Rory McIlroy, a bunch of other guys that have played good all season long. Is Wyndham Clark the player of the year on the PGA Tour? It's an interesting case between he and Scottie Scheffler. Some big names not headed to East Lake that weren't able to get in the top 30. All right, in the NFL, now that we've seen some preseason action from about everybody, can you give me three teams that you're confident will win at least two more games than they did a year ago? Okay? There's always these teams. It's just a matter if you can identify them or not going into the season. And then also, can you give, or will there be at least three that'll lose two more than they did a year ago? Is there turmoil on the 40 acres down in Austin? Rough weekend heading into the season for the Horns with reports of Arch Manning's demise, that he hadn't been very good, had to kick off a starting linebacker, already had a little offensive line injury. Things you got a dad of a player on Twitter that's ready to expose the whole thing. Don't know what that means, but that can't be good. Turmoil. Is the turmoil hitting the Texas Longhorns before the season even starts? Is the portal even worse than we thought with what's happening now? With guys coming back from, playing in NFL preseason games, recording stats, and now coming back to play college football. Crazy day in Leedey over the weekend, especially on the baseball side of things, with the Leedey Invitational baseball and softball tournaments wrapping up. I'll tell you the results there. It's game week, high school football for some. For us, it's game week. Can't believe it. Summer flew by, and now here we are. 225.
Summer's still here, bro.
Well,
that's what's so hard to get my mind to wrap around is like it's still 150, but we're talking a fall sport in football starting this week. Well, we've had hot starts to the season. Nothing like this.
It's been pretty hot.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's been pretty hot. 225-9698 is the phone or the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about all those things, whatever else might be on your mind. Feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area, a couple ways to stay in touch with the show. Log on to KADSAM.com or download the app. Paragon app's got it all. Radio, Penny News, Big Elk, and Paragon TV. Big Elk TV coming at you. Today, actually, we've got district softball starting for the Elkettes today at Kingfisher. Tomorrow, the host Clinton. And go up to Colorado for an invitational over the week, Friday and Saturday.
They can get games up in Colorado, but the football team can't. Cooler weather up there.
I don't know.
Come on, Coach Hunt.
It's on fire. Colorado's been on fire, so I don't know how much cooler it is up there.
What part of Colorado are they going?
I don't know. Trojan Invitational in Colorado. That's what we got here. Bet you Denny can tell us if he's listening. He's kind of a podcaster at the moment, though. He's a podcast listener because he's actually, in school teaching kids.
Shout out to Denny because my shameless pitch worked and he bought some raffle tickets. But he didn't text me till later in the afternoon. That's when I knew, he just listened to the podcast.
Yeah, I think that's where he's at right now, as far as the show goes. All right, how was your weekend, Jared?
It was good. Quick trip to Dallas and back, and hung out yesterday. No, it was a good weekend. It's fun. We made the horrible decision of going down to Dallas and then hitting 5 p.m. traffic on a Friday afternoon, trying to get to downtown Dallas. It was a crawl, but it was fun. Fun for the girls. They had a good time at that concert. And I had a good time just sitting at the hotel bar/restaurant watching baseball and eating pork tacos. It was a quick trip. And, of course, we hit up Buc-ee's on the way home. How was your weekend?
It was fine. Played golf on Friday night, and the league wasn't really a scramble. It was a league. Played with all the kids. That was my pairing, was the young ones, and it was we played backwards. So you teed off from number 1 tee, and they were all par 3s, to number 9 green.
Okay.
And used different tees throughout.
Did you show them a thing or two? Kids how it's done?
I tied for the win at 26, which was 1 under par. I actually chipped it in on the last hole to tie.
Oh, nice. How far out?
I was just off the green.
I got you.
I was just off the green, but I knew I had to make it because Keaton had a birdie putt. Oakley he was the one ahead, Oakley was. And shout out to him for actually making his putt after I chipped it in. Because he was like, I didn't think you were going to do that. And I was like, you always got to think somebody's going to do that. And he did. He made it, so we tied. Hung out in the pool on Saturday and didn't do anything yesterday. Actually, Saturday, before we got to hang out in the pool, we did a bunch of yard work. Kara was cracking the whip on myself and Wyatt.
I've been putting it off, but I need to. Where I'm watering, it's growing. And where I'm watering is, like I've told you, is flowers and tomatoes. Well, there's still some grass involved, so I need to give it some attention. It's looking kind of rough. But I'm kind of putting that off. I'm thinking, now, am I reading my weather app wrong? I'm going to check again. Wednesday, 35% chance of rain, high of 92. Thursday, 45% chance of rain, high of 88.
It's not quite what the National Weather Service has, but it's close.
But that's what's crazy is that the iPhone weather app pulls from the the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
The Weather Channel.
National Weather Service has 20% chance tonight, actually. 10% overnight. Then on Tuesday, 20 and 40. Wednesday, 30. And the highs, Tuesday, 100. Wednesday, 95. Thursday, 94. Then Friday back up to 98. And then over 100 over the weekend again.
Well, getting some mixed reports on weather, but I'm hoping Wednesday I'm busy, but Thursday I'm free, so I'm after work, so I'm hoping I can get in the yard then.
Oh, man.
Because obviously Friday we're busy, and I'm busy.
Then it's going to be 100 again.
Yeah, I'm busy this weekend. But yeah, my yard needs some attention too.
We did mowing. I forgot we didn't have the weed eater string, so I'm going to have to go get that at some point. But what we really did was we trimmed up the hedges and
Yeah. Do you have a trimmer, a hedge trimmer?
Yeah. Kind of got derailed there at the end because there was a wasp nest in one of them. And that irritated the wasps, so everybody kind of ran away. There's one that's just got these, it's not really shinnery, but it's like a tree growing up through with a plant or a hedge.
Yeah.
And that gets looking pretty bad. So we had to chop it all down on Saturday. I was sore. I still am. It's kind of a little bit sore. But anyway, that's one of my weekend. All right, so up at Leedey, had a Leedey Invitational softball and the Leedey Invitational baseball tournaments. On the softball side, the champion of the tournament was Arapahoe Butler's Lady Indians. They knocked off Canute 6-0 in the finals. Playing for third place, Caney and Leedey. Caney beat Leedey for the second time in that tournament, this time 11-0. Cheyenne Raiden 9, Granite 4 in fifth place, and then Arnett won in extra innings against Kremlin Hillsdale 12-7. On the boys' side, on Saturday, you had the semifinal, or I guess the third place game and the championship game. Both of them went multiple extra innings. Third place game was Visay and Drummond. Visay ends up winning 4-3 in 9 innings. And if you thought that was a long one, the championship game between Leedey and Calumet was even longer. It went 11 innings. Kind of a back and forth when Leedey went up 2-0 early. Calumet scored 5 in a row to take a 5-2 lead. Then Leedey was ahead 6-5. Then they were tied at 7 going into the 7th inning. They were tied at 9 going into the 8th inning. And a couple, 3, 8th, 9th, and 10th, nobody scored. And then Leedey finally scored one in the bottom of the 11th to take home the trophy over Calumet, 10-9 in 11 innings. So that was obviously a pretty cool, would have been a fun one to watch no matter how hot it was as that thing went back and forth. So Leedey wins their Leedey Invitational. Anything else? I know some of the stuff up at Hall of Fame got kind of, it was rained out or whatever because of the weather. So that thing didn't go off quite exactly how everyone obviously was hoping for it to go off.
Yeah, of all the places it rains in the state, that's where it rains. Nah, but that one, what they got in was against who? Choctaw?
Yeah, Choctaw beat Elk City 6-0, and then the Enid game didn't happen.
Yeah, that Choctaw game was like one bad inning from what I gathered. One bad inning that did him in. And that was on not the main field. It was on one of the, I forget which number of fields they are. It's one directly to the north, but the one against Enid was going to be on the main field. Unfortunately, they weren't able to play it. That's a bummer, but that's okay.
I'd seen some. Have you heard of this? I'd seen some talk on Facebook or Twitter that these tournaments are going to be being moved. The state tournaments are going to be moved.
Well, the smaller classes have been at Fire Lake for the last couple years, if memory serves me right, and they've already announced that is happening. Again, I don't know if the larger classes, because last year 4A was at Hall of Fame at OG&E, and I don't know if that's been changed. Now, I anticipate it to happen when they build that new venue, that new field with new stands. I mean, it looks that Fire Lake is currently building, which could be done by this time next year. I've seen some progress reports on that one, and they're coming along pretty quick on that one. And then at that point, I do anticipate that they would get some more of these tournaments.
Yeah, I
kind of wish they just rotate them around. I like it at OG&E. And Fire Lake, nothing against Fire Lake. I like it too. But kind of a good problem to have in softball in the state. You got all these great venues that have all these state tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, we are talking about the most famous field in all of softball. Mm-hmm. But, and I kind of reading through some comments, I do agree in a lot of ways that if you're not on that field,
yeah,
it's a little rough. I mean, if we're being dead honest, those other fields aren't taken care of near to the level of what the big field is. And then
the other fields are warm-up fields and practice fields for the main event, is what I gather. It's a great asset to have for World Series and those other teams, and then the Olympics coming up. But no, you want to be on that main field. And Fire Lake, though, they're all turf.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there a couple times. They are immaculate. It's a cool venue. Plenty of parking, all that stuff that you ask for in venue, that checks the boxes of hosting big tournaments like this. So it makes sense that the OSSA would want to bring it there. And Because I mean, you could have multiple, and it's the speed of the tournament is quicker too. You're having multiple games played at one time, whereas because there's more than 4 fields, so. But why can't they just co-op it like baseball does, where all the finals are played at Bricktown Ballpark?
Yeah.
Have some quarters and semis played at Shawnee, and then your finals are all at OG&E. In the big one, on the big field.
Right.
I think that'd make everybody happy.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation. Because
that's a Saturday, if I had nothing going on, I'd take my daughters to go, we're going to watch softball today, right here at OG&E, and watch some state championship games, a la the Big House in basketball, or UCO in football.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. Even if it's got a text, I really like the state tournaments at Fire Lake. But it's like, that can all be true. But it's like the aura. I mean, no offense, to the new Big House. But even the old Big House, here it had that. But, I mean, we're talking about the softball field in the world. And if you don't believe me, the Olympics are going to be here. I mean,
yeah.
So it is like, it's literally the place where you dream of playing if you're a young lady playing softball.
Yeah.
And that allure and that aura is better. Now, here's another one that was brought up, is the atmosphere at Fire Lake is 10 times better than feeling like there's nobody there on the big field, even for state title games.
You can get to big stadiums. And,
right.
Yeah. I think that was the knock on Stillwater and Norman hosting championship football games, was even some of the biggest schools. Now, when Jinx and Union would play, it was packed because there's a lot of interest there. But from 4A down, we've been to games, obviously, at both. I've been to both venues for state championship games. There's a lot of people there, but it still feels empty. Still feels very empty. So we bring it to UCO made a lot of sense. So I get that too. Yeah, totally. I was fortunate enough to have my youngest play in there because that's what's cool about OG&E, and they are constantly having tournaments to allow a lot of little girls play, at different levels, and it brings in people from not just Oklahoma, I mean Texas and Kansas and Missouri, all our neighboring states and beyond. They see us, a tournament at OG&E, they sign up and they make a whole week out of the deal. There is one I heard from Alaska.
Oh, really?
This past spring. A team from Alaska came down. But, yeah, I mean, we were in there. It was the first game of the day. And, you're yelling at your kid, hey, back up. And, I mean, everybody heard it in the giant echo because it's cavernous and empty. Mm-hmm. But, so I get that side of it, too. You want to feel like you're playing in front of a large crowd. And more intimate, too. You could be closer at Fire Lake. As a fan.
Yeah, all it
has its pros and cons.
Yeah, it does.
It's a good problem to have in the state of Oklahoma. We got these great venues being built, or that we have they continue to maintain. There's additional stuff coming to OG&E that they've announced, some indoor practice arena. I even jokingly said they need to make a retractable roof on that stadium. Yeah. To avoid weather delays and 105-degree heat.
It definitely might work in June when it really needs to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all that is what it is, and see what happens. But it is a luxury to have two pretty good spots.
Yeah.
Competing for that tournament.
And that's a luxury. Here we go again, broken record, but you just mentioned the Leedey tournament, all these really great teams out here.
Yeah.
There was a good Canute-Cheyenne game on Friday that took place, and then, of course, Canute and Arapahoe, and Leedey getting third. I'm going to see Canute and Merritt today. Merritt's pretty good. All those teams have a real good shot at playing at one of these venues, wherever it may be.
No doubt about it. It's also game week as far as high school football, week 0. Some are playing, some are not. Looking at the Thursday schedule, you get Texoma hosting Hollis. It's a good long bus ride to start.
Texoma hosting
Hollis. So Hollis.
So the favorite might be the road team here.
I don't know. I wonder, Texoma has been in that A1 district with Merritt, Sayre, Fairview, Moreland for the last few years.
Yeah.
And now they are dropping all the way down to 8-man. They're in B2. I wonder how much of an advantage that could possibly be with numbers, because, they've been playing with 3 extra dudes all this time, and now they only have to have 8 out there, for depth purposes or what have you. Wonder how much that could help or hurt them, because as we've seen, it is a different game with just 8 of them out there versus 11. There's so much more space. So that's an interesting test case to me. The team moving that far, that many classes. Then Hollis, see if they can kind of reload. You also get Weatherford. Weatherford is on the road at Lawton Mac to open the season. Just starting to see some different prognostications from different publications. Most people believe Weatherford will win 4A1. I think a big part of that is what they got back on the lines versus everybody else.
Yeah, I saw something too. It said some coaches poll. Is that legit? Were coaches polled?
Maybe.
Or of a preseason, what they think how the districts are going to come out, like all districts in 4A.
Oh yeah, in Oklahoma.
Was that where I
think
saw it?
so.
I can't remember where I saw that. Right, I saw what you saw.
Weatherford, Clinton, Elk City.
I saw Weatherford, Clinton, Cash.
Oh,
No. Who did I see? I can't remember. I'm going to do some digging. But yeah, I did see Weatherford, Clinton, and I can't remember the next 2.
That's right here. Ugh. Wanted to get
Did you lose it?
Well, it's for some reason it's not. I can't get into it because Sean doesn't have the password in here right now like he normally does.
Here we go. I got it. Weatherford, Clinton, Bethany, Cash. Elk City right there predicted at 5.
Oh, that's a different one then. So I'd seen one that was 3rd. Yeah, I'll believe the Bethany when I see it while they've lost.
Right. But we've done that to them before. Then they'll start out 3-0.
Yeah, I'll believe that
District
one.
2, Tuttle, Ardmore, Blanchard, Hara. I kind of like that one. Ardmore, right?
Ardmore is going to be good.
Yeah.
We saw them last year, and they were young.
Yeah. District 3, Cushing, Grove, Fort Gibson, Wagner.
A lot of people like Cushing. Then Broken Bow.
In District 4, Broken Bow. I think a dark horse is Ada. They're at 2 in that one. Broken Bow, Ada, Salisal, Poto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some. I think people. I think people around kind of think Woodward hasn't been very good for the last little bit. I think people think they'll be better. Maybe to try to get up into that chase for the last spot, whether or not there's 5 for 4 or 6 for 4. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they shoot last year. I know they opened our eyes a few times when we would check scores and be like, "Huh, what's going on there?" That they basically had Weatherford on the ropes at worst, and that one kind of slipped through their fingers. And so that's one to probably watch for as far as somebody that is more of a dark horse within the district to be in the chase and maybe to be in a spot where they can nab one of those 4 playoff spots.
Yeah, I was sent the one from the Oklahoman. It's the Weatherford, Clinton, Elk City.
Yeah, that's what I.
I-43 on top, followed by Cache, Woodward, Bethany, Douglas. I just told you that Elk City Cache game, district game,
we said it last year.
It's going to be big.
It was the first one. It was down there. And sure enough, it basically held to where that was the difference in making the playoffs and not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got Kenyon Sweat. He's fine. He's a junior now down there at Cache that can just absolutely fly. Like sub 4.40. Quite honestly, the Elks did as good a job as anybody did against him last year. I remember watching the 3 non-district games that Cache played, and he just jumped off the screen, making humongous plays, scoring touchdowns from literally anywhere on the field. The Elks did a really good job of bottling him up. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, the only times where you felt was when he had interceptions. And like things were trying, you know what I mean?
Right.
There was 2
out of position.
Yeah, and you're worried. Oh, here he goes. But as far as when he got the ball in his hands on offense, the Elks did a really, really good job of bottling him up, and not letting him be a big play factor in that game. And that was a big factor why Elk City won that game and eventually made it in to the playoffs. So, I mean, I think a lot of people believe that, as far as the district goes, Cache may be the most talented. I know when you saw them, as far as just the eye test, looking the part, they looked like the best team in the district, with athleticism and size and all that. Just didn't quite come together. It'll be interesting to see kind of who can – everybody's got question marks.
Yeah, everybody has strengths. Everybody has question
Yes.
marks. In 4A1, there's no complete team, but each team brings a different intangible.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned that about Weatherford and the line, Clinton and the quarterback, right here with the skill position in Elk City. Cache with their skill position might be the best player in the district. I always wonder about Bethany. The moment you underrate them, you overlook them, they'll start 3-0, maybe 4-0 with the district win. You're going, okay, you got to pay attention to them. Well, I just wonder, okay, who's playing for Douglas this year?
Yeah.
Because of where they're
Sure.
located. So, I think Woodward has a good coach. So it's kind of, I won't say wide open district, but every team can present a problem if you're not ready for them week in
That's
and
right.
week out.
I like, depending on, you mentioned Douglas, and they've been down, but depending on like kind of where they're at, I think this is a year where we're rolling through the middle of the fourth quarter of our game, and hey, let's check the 4A scoreboard. I don't think we'll be shocked at any result.
Right. That's good.
Within the district this year.
Yep.
Nothing will be shocking, because I think there's there's no Elgin in the district right now. Speaking of Elgin, that's who Bethany starts with on Friday night. So we might get a...
Oh, well, then will we know?
I don't know.
I don't know if we'll know, but yeah. They're not starting 3-0.
Oh, my gosh.
You looking at what? Bethany's non-district?
Yeah.
Well, good for them. Who are they playing?
They got Elgin at home at Jones,
Okay.
which is
A team
defending state champions,
Yeah.
and Coach Jeremy Reed from Altus ends up there,
Oh,
and his son, Jamin Reed, ends up in Jones. Then they host Guthrie, and then they play Shawnee just like Elk City does. And, golly, their schedule's not nice, because their district schedule, they go 2 Cache, 2 Weatherford, 2 Clinton, all in a row.
oh man, that's brutal.
They do have a week off in between Cache and Weatherford,
Oh, wow.
where they would have played John Marshall.
Well, they won't lose that week then.
Man,
That's a brutal schedule.
it is.
There is a scenario I was looking at these, like, of rematches. I know Clinton plays Blanchard in a non-district. They could play each other in the playoffs.
Yeah. Boy, that Woodward Bethany game will be right off the bat. Will be one to be paying attention to.
Yeah, it will.
I think that's the same night we play Cache.
Woodward was feisty last year in some
Yeah, they
of their
were.
games.
Yeah, they were.
And I equate that to their coach. Their coach is still Is it Schneeberger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first week will be one Woodward at Bethany and then Cash coming here. That'll start to either clear up or muddy the waters just right off the bat with those games at the first week of the district schedule.
Well, it's here.
It is.
For us, anyways. Weatherford 2.
Clinton's playing too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chandler.
We should get Lug Nut on.
Yeah. I'm sure he would.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back. Rother Brothers Monday right here on the Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal.
When the job demands power, performance, and reliability, count on JCB from Rother Brothers Equipment. Located on Highway 183 north of Clinton, Rother Brothers carries a full lineup of JCB excavators, skid steers, wheel loaders, aerial lifts, forklifts, tractors, and compacting equipment to help you tackle any project. Whether you're in construction, farming, or oil and gas, JCB is built to get the job done. See them in person or visit RotherBrothers.com and see why more professionals choose JCB. Tough equipment, trusted service, ready to work. Rother Brothers in Clinton.
The Skinny on Sports.
Have more blast!
Welcome back on this Rother Brothers Monday, Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Thank you to the gang over at Rother Brothers, Highway 183, just north of Clinton. Rother Brothers offers a variety of agricultural and outdoor power equipment that is second to none in all the great state of Oklahoma. Not a friendlier or more knowledgeable staff than the one at Rother Brothers. They're happy to help you find either the perfect piece of equipment or the parts that you've been looking for. Go check them out. Highway 183, just north of Clinton. That is our friends over at Rother Brothers. Did you see the little bit of turmoil over the weekend on the 40 acres of Texas?
I saw rumblings and rumors, so I didn't dive into it as far as what was substantial or not. So, but yeah, I mean, I saw that maybe a linebacker got dismissed. There's some grumblings about Arch Manning, maybe not as sharp as they expected him to be, and then the other one being a parent not too happy with, which, I mean, listen, at every level of every sport, there's going to be a mad parent because their kid's not playing enough or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I've heard the rumors. Is there any legs to
Palace intrigue? I mean, Ty Anthony Smith is kicked off the team, which, there was some scuttlebutt about that even a few weeks back, and supposedly he was sick. Of course, when something like this happens, every single fan base takes advantage.
Oh, they run with it
and maybe even add some other stuff in. Like, I know they had at one of the scrimmages, Texas had a bunch of guys that was sick. And he was one of them that now has been kicked off. So, there's were those guys, were they really just skipping practice? And that was the excuse, and now this guy gets kicked off? Or we're going to see more? And the Arch stuff, I mean, I think that's sort of what we've seen from Arch, right? I mean, he has the ability to be great, and he has the ability to really look awful, and he's got to figure out, how to less of the awful and more of the great. I mean, the talent is absolutely there. I think a lot of people think Texas is going to be very, very good because they believe Arch Manning will be able to overcome, the shortcomings. I mean, just even if you think about it in the Cotton Bowl, the first half he couldn't do anything, and then all of a sudden, the second half, he makes a couple of really good plays with his feet, getting outside the pocket, making some throws, and next thing you know, it was like, wow, Sooners can't stop Texas in the second half. And so I think that's just been sort of his nature so far. I mean, if I'm a fan of anybody but Texas, I don't know that I'm getting all fired up by some of this stuff. I think it's definitely a wait and see. But it's always interesting when you start seeing, this close to the season, guys dismissed from the team and that kind of thing.
Someone praise it if it's like an attitude thing as far as a player getting dismissed or doing some bad stuff. And don't care who you are, don't care how good you are or where you are on my depth chart. We have a standard. You're gone. And some would praise that. Probably those praising it are wearing the burnt orange. And those who are not against or who are against Texas are taking it and running with it.
Oh, sure.
But the Manning thing, yeah. I mean, the OU game was kind of like a microcosm of his season. Like, not good, and then suddenly he's good. And that was actually maybe a little bit of the turning point for his season because he was not bad after that game. He kind of settled in. He had his ups and downs, but he was, for the most part, he kept him right there in that playoff discussion.
That's the thing. We kind of remember it that way, but I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is because, boy, you can go back and look at some box scores in some games that they won and go, oof.
Yeah.
They won that one in spite of Arch. Kentucky, right after the OU game. Kentucky's 12 of 27 for 132 yards. But they come back and win. Mississippi State, he's pretty good, even though that was a game that Texas got way behind. But he was 29 of 46, 3 touchdowns and a pick. He took care of the ball after, he had a pick in the first few games, 2 against Florida, and then after that he only had 2 the rest of the season. So that's part of what, people are for sure remembering about him. But, even in that win against A&M, 14 of 29 for 179 and a touchdown. Okay. If you're throwing for less than 50% completion rate in this day and age of college football, that's awful. But he is also at times able to use his feet and use his legs, and definitely did that in the last game we saw him against Michigan, where he had 4 touchdowns, 2 passing and 2 rushing. So, I think that's it's. We were probably always going to be here with him because of his last name, because of who he is, and the expectations that he's obviously going to have on him, We were always going to be at some level of this conversation. And right now, I don't know that if we're as we may not be quite to the level I thought we would be. I thought the conversations would be a lot more centered on, okay, is he going to be the number 1 pick? Not, can he
be better?
Be better, yeah. But we'll see. All that.
A lot of people would love if his name wasn't Manning. I think is an issue here because he is trying to live up to that Manning name, and so he's always going to be compared to his uncles and to his granddad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that plays into it a little bit. If his name was John Smith, people would go, I really want that guy on my team.
Yeah, it's kind
of, you know what I mean?
It's kind of both ways, right? Because I think a lot of people think he gets extra praise heaped on him that he doesn't deserve because his last name is Manning.
Yep.
But I think on the other side of it, I think a lot of people believe he gets criticized extra more because his name is Manning.
Right. I was like, well, that's not how your uncles did it. I remember your uncle at Tennessee or at Ole Miss. That's not how he did it. Not how they did it.
And this is a good one that I just got. It's so hard to like him because he's at Texas. I think there is a little bit of that to it.
Yeah, we got to take that.
You kind of,
as far as what we're saying here, we do have a little bit of a bias.
Oh, sure. But I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. But I have said stuff about Texas players before. Like I've said this about coaches. I've said this about Mac Brown. And I haven't liked a coach until maybe now from Texas. But dang it, I hate liking that guy,
Mm-hmm.
I liked Mac Brown. I liked how he carried himself, how he defended his players. We love to make fun of him at times, but I like the guy. I like Sark. I do. And yeah, Arch is kind of like that guy too. It's like, I hate liking that guy. Seems like a nice kid.
That's
You
what I was
never
gonna say.
hear about stuff off the field.
No.
He sees it, in which is what you would expect from a Manning.
I mean, the truth of it is none of this is really tied into it's not tied into Arch's actions. What has he ever done? On the field or off the field to get anybody riled up? Nothing.
Closest is when he threw that touchdown. He did the little wave thing.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
It's basically nothing.
Mateer did the same thing at Tennessee when he ran in for a touchdown. Kind of did a little shrug, shoulder shrug. Whatever. Quarterbacks do it.
Yeah. And when that's what I'm saying. When that's what you're trying to pull up to have a knock on Arch Manning, there's nothing. There really isn't anything to worry about with him as far as that goes. And I think that's also true because it's just hard not to like. It's hard not to like him, even though he wears the burnt orange. Because and that's kudos to Archie and Peyton and Eli as much as anything. So
yeah, with the kid that came in with a bunch of expectations, he couldn't have the more perfect mentors on how to handle that and how to handle the media and how to handle the pressure from, well, heck, his entire family. They've been through it. They've been through the ringer. They know how to handle it. And I think he's handled it well.
I do
he'll
too.
handle this stuff well, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come out, and I think they're going to be good. And I think he's going to be a big part of why they're good. But they got a good team around him, too.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, wrapping up the Rother Brothers Monday. NFL. Maybe a little golf. Who's going to be better in the NFL? Have you seen anything in the preseason that makes you think, you know what, they're going to be better? Skinny on Sports on the Rother Brothers Monday.
When it comes to planting season, trust the equipment built to perform. Rother Brothers Equipment on Highway 183 North in Clinton is your Great Plains dealer, featuring drills, planters, tillage equipment, and the new Stealth line of drills, perfect for food plots and hunting property. Whether you're farming thousands of acres or preparing your favorite hunting spot, Rother Brothers has the equipment you need. Stop by Highway 183 North in Clinton or learn more today at rotherbrothers.com. Quality equipment, local service, Rother Brothers in Great Plains. Harvest starts here.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
The Skinny on
There's
Sports.
no crying in baseball!
Welcome back. Final segment, Skinny on Sports on a Rother Brothers Monday, 98.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Not only Rother Brothers has the huge selection of parts, the service, new stuff, Case IH, Polaris, Rhino, JCB. They got all kinds of stuff over there. They also got the Yoder. Don't forget about the Yoder pellet grills. Fired mine up this weekend to cook for everybody that came over and swimming. It's awesome.
What'd you make?
I made chicken wings.
Oh, good.
And then KJ had some sausage stuffed with blue cheese and jalapeno that we put on there. And then he also had some bevo bites. You know what bevo bites are?
Sliders?
No, it's like a little.
Burn-ins? What are those?
No, it's like essentially a jalapeno popper with a piece of like ribeye steak in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Little
That sounds
little
delicious.
guys bacon wrap. Oh yeah, it's good. It is good. So we warmed all that up on there as well, but you can't beat them. The Yoder pellet grills are impossible to beat.
Allie made some shrimp tacos last night. Soft tacos and some homemade pico de gallo.
Oh really?
That was nice. We had kind of a later practice trying to beat the heat, so by the time we got home, it was about 8:15. She had it all ready to go. That was nice to come home to. She went overboard on that one. It was pretty good.
All right, let's see. NFL. Have you seen enough? Have you seen anything here in the preseason that where you've kind of got a couple of teams marked that maybe weren't very good or maybe were pretty good and ready to take even the next step? Give me 3 teams that are going to have at least 2 more wins this year than they did last year?
Well, one's easy. It's Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah.
If Mahomes is back and healthy, he gets you a lot more wins. And they're better than 8-9.
They were 6-11 last year.
6-11, even worse. Excuse me.
1-5 in the division, and that had been a record that they had just dominated that division in the Mahomes time. Yeah, 6-11 last year. That one's, you almost feel bad about picking that one, but yeah, 8-9. You think they're going to finish 8-9?
No. I got a bad. I forgot what the.
No, but that's all they get.
I think they're better than what they were.
But what I'm saying is 8-9 get you 2 more wins. That's what's crazy.
I think they have a winning record.
Yeah.
What
even though it's a tough division. Well,
of course. Traditionally it has, but it's been led by them.
Yep.
So, and because Mahomes, if he's healthy, you got to think they're going to be okay. I think the Raiders are at least 2 wins better than what they were last year with whoever's take. Well, I think Cousins might be the guy they go with because Fernando's going to have to he's going to have to learn some stuff. He'll be fine. But I think they'll be better, and then the Giants. I think the Giants will be. We've talked about how tough the NFC East could be, top to bottom, and the big reason is that because Harbaugh's there. I think Harbaugh and Dart could be on that list. We talked about quarterback coach pairings that we like. Maybe next year we're putting them on that list. So I'll have them a couple games better than what they were last year.
They are the chic pick for this.
Yeah.
When you look at the most improved teams, I saw a list. I didn't even click on them. I'd already thought about this. Because, Jared, I would agree with the Chiefs. I could actually pick out a few. Honestly, the NFC East might have 3.
Yeah, you think?
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fall into the trap. The trap that is our Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 9-8. I think they fixed some stuff defensively. With the Micah Parsons trade, getting those guys, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, inside, then Rashawn Gary, drafting Caleb Downs. I think they fixed some stuff defensively, and they're going to score.
Did you watch them Saturday night?
No.
I was fortunate enough to get home in time. Obviously, it was like a 9 o'clock game because it was in Arizona.
Yeah. I saw some highlights.
It's hard to take in 2 preseason games. I get it.
Sure.
But when you're looking for, like Joe Milton III, I think, is the dude to back up Dak. He's fluid. He's fast. He was having fun. Defensively, they looked okay. And Caleb Downs didn't even play in the game because they didn't need him. Yeah. But what you can take from preseason games is the feeling. Like, man, it looks different. The feeling looks different. The swagger looks different. And you kind of get a little bit of a feeling about that about the Dallas Cowboys after 2 games.
Yeah.
Like there's a little confidence down there.
There is.
It looks they're running around, they're flying to the football defensively. It just looks different, feels different. We'll see.
It's hard not to take the Giants because they only won 4 games.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. They would have won more than 4 if Scadaboo and they kind of got hurt.
Right.
Neighbors, Scadaboo.
Yep.
It's hard not to take them. I think Cincinnati is for sure going to win more than 6 games. But there's always that caveat of if Joe Burrow is healthy.
Well, he's pretty vocal about we're tired of hearing of next year.
Right.
He wants it this year.
Yeah.
We've all seen how a healthy, just like Mahomes. They're the difference maker. If Burrow is healthy, then that's a good team. Now we'll see what their defense, if they can fix some stuff on defense.
Mm-hmm. Got anybody that you think's going to win two less games?
Now, when we put these teams on this list, it's not that we think they're going to have a bad year. It's just that maybe they overexceeded last year, and they could take a little bit of a step back but still be a playoff team. Seahawks, I'd put them on that list. That's still a good team.
Yeah, because they won 14 games. I mean, that's I get it. I was looking at somebody in that division.
So I could see them maybe losing 3 more than what they did last year, but still, that's a winning record. And
It's 11-6 still.
Yeah. Same thing with the Patriots.
I thought about them.
14-3 last year.
Yeah.
I could see them losing a couple more, but still being good. And Denver. I think Denver, maybe I'm not as sold on Bo Nix. Maybe I'm kind of coming down on him.
Maybe we'll see how healthy, where he's at. I think the Steelers.
What was their record last year?
10-7.
Yeah.
They were 10-7, and their point differential was +10. That means they won a lot of close games. And a lot of times in the NFL, we see that's just not sustainable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It just flips around. It always comes back to the mean. So I would take the Steelers as a team that I had those same two you had. Oh, no. I had New England. I had Pittsburgh. And I guess you got to say, if I think that 3 teams in the NFC East are going to win 2 more, maybe that means Philly's not going to win, or they're just going to beat up on the
something has to give.
At a division,
yeah.
right?
Something has to give in that division. If New York and you think the Giants are going to win more.
Giants, Washington, and Dallas. If they're all going to win some more.
It's going to have to come at the expense of against Philly or Washington.
And if Jaden Daniels is healthy, I think Washington could easily win 2 more games. They only won 5.
Yeah. Health will play a big role in all this. Played a big role in why teams were not as good last year.
The one team that I think has the commander from last year potential.
That could fall?
Yes.
A little bit?
Yes.
Is it because of health?
No, just because a harder schedule.
They were good, and now it could.
Bears.
Yeah, I almost put them on this list too. Almost. If we asked me about 4 teams, they probably would have been team number 4. Yeah, I didn't think about their schedule though. What's their schedule look like?
At Panthers, host Vikings, host Eagles, host Jets. Need to be 2-2 at worst. At Packers. Falcons are terrible. Then you play the Super Bowl teams back to back. Home against the Patriots, at Seattle. Bucks, Saints. Now the one, you know what? They get to play the AFC or the NFC South. So that probably helps. They also get to play the AFC East. So you got Pats and Bills. But you also get to play the Dolphins, who are Dolphins are 1. And they only won 5 last year. Or did they win 7? Dolphins are one that aren't. They're not going to win as many games. No way. They're going to be awful. Yeah, they were 7-10. Nah. I'm going to take them to be 5 at best with everything that's going on down there.
What's the stat of a team that starts 0-2, their percentage chance of making the playoffs?
It's not very
good. I think that's the next question we need to be looking at maybe tomorrow, of what teams we think could start 0-2 and 1, not recover from it, or 2, could recover from it. Because some of the schedules just scream at you 0-2 start.
Yeah, 10%. I was going to say, I knew it was way low. About 10% that start 0-2 make the playoffs.
Like a team that a lot of people like, especially in the NFC South, the Saints. They start at the Lions and then at the Ravens. But I could see them recovering from that if they start 0-2. Right?
You know the only teams to go on to win the Super Bowl?
To start 0-2?
And win that there's 3.
Is Cowboys one of them?
One of them's famous because it was the Cowboys. They started 0-2 after they won the first one.
Is that the Emmett holdout?
Emmett holdout. Yeah, that one's famous.
I can't think of the other 2.
2001 Pats.
Oh.
And then the 2007 Giants that derailed the Pats' undefeated season. It's the only 3 to ever win the Super Bowl after going 0-2.
In the NFL world, you don't want to start 0-2. It's not a good thing. Not a good sign.
There is an extra game now.
I mean, Giants, they start with Cowboys at Rams. Cleveland at Jaguars at Bucks.
No, Cleveland's.
I don't think we ever had a chance of them making the playoffs.
I don't either.
Now that they're starting Deshaun Watson, breaking news. Kidding me? Cleveland going to Cleveland, man. Browns are going to Brown. Going to Brown right down their leg this season
what
again.
We got. Steelers start home against Falcons at Patriots.
Speaking of Patriots, at Seahawks,
Yeah.
Steelers.
And then host the Bengals. Boy, that Week 3 Bengals-Pittsburgh game is going to, especially if the Steelers split, get them in a little bit of a hole.
Who would you bet on opening day against, or would you bet Titans, Jets? Who do you got?
Titans. I almost put the Titans as being a team that was going to win more.
You think they're going to be better?
Yeah. I think Cam Ward will be better.
Yeah?
Not sure about the Jets.
They start with Jets and then Eagles.
That's probably 1-1 there. Golf over the weekend. We had Wyndham Clark hold on. He just blitzed everybody on Saturday. Started out slow on Saturday and then got that putter rolling. Had a big lead. It evaporated on the back nine. He was tied with Rory, and then he proceeds to make 3 straight birdies to end up shooting even par and end up winning the second of 3 playoff events. I think it didn't look after last week when Scotty just steamrolled the field at Memphis in the first playoff event. Didn't really look like we had much of a chase for the FedEx Cup, like a real one, or for Player of the Year. Now you start comparing resumes between Scotty Scheffler and Wyndham Clark. Scotty may have to win this week. Clark has the U.S. Open. Clark has multiple other wins on tour. So that'll be something to watch for. At least it's a storyline going into Atlanta. Other storylines will be guys that may be on the President's Cup team kind of cut line, who can play well and maybe influence that decision from Brent Schnedeker. 6 guys already there. After yesterday, golly, it was, oh gosh. Scotty, Wyndham, Colin Morikawa, Russell Henley, Ben Griffin, and I don't see it. Not that the President's Cup is the Ryder Cup, but it's still something to watch. So that was Scotty had to battle hand, foot, and mouth disease during the tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were about to tell me like foot and mouth disease, but no.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he really did.
What does that mean? I don't know.
I've always heard of it. I don't guess I've ever had it. All right, 6 guys. It's Scotty, Cam Young. How did I forget him? Scotty, Cam Young, Wyndham Clark, Sam Burns, Russell Henley, and Colin Morikawa. Automatically in. Then 6 more captain's picks. So Ben Griffin fell out because of Wyndham Clark jumping up. I maintain they need to take Jackson Coyven to the President's Cup because he's going to be on the Ryder Cup team next year, in my opinion. So you might as well throw him in the fire. Let him get a little bit of experience in that before you take him overseas in a Ryder Cup.
Makes sense.
You know, just get him out there a few matches and let him see what it's all about. All right, that'll do it for Rother Brothers Monday. Be up in Woodward. Back up in Woodward for all our Northwest listeners next week. Got some special stuff planned for the end of the week. Just got to get that ironed out. We'll tell you as soon as we can.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available.
Thanks for listening.